I'm Fran, and this is Pam, and together we're Framala. So this is our, I think, 11th, but possibly 12th meetup.
I think one more housekeeping is just let's take care of each other through the day. It's an event that's been co-designed and will be co-delivered by people with dementia and their families. So today is going to be about working together. We want you to experience how much can be achieved through the simple art of conversation. So I'm going to invite you to contribute your whole self. Speak from the heart as well as the mind.
So coming here today has been really good. Fantastic listening to the speakers, absolutely. I've loved listening to it and I've picked up lots of bits and I've got lots of inspiration. But I think it's been good talking to people around the table about what we're doing, and the fact that people are really liking what we're doing and want to have the same sort of thing happening on their doorstep, you know. So I feel that we are definitely going in the right direction, and that all the energy that we're putting into our classes you know, for the good of it, and we want to carry on.
My name is Chris Roberts, I'm 54, I'm living with mixed dementia, vascular and Alzheimer's. After spending my life caring for my wife and children, they now care for me. With support and understanding, you can live alongside the illness. There is no reason that the UK, and in particular Wales, shouldn't become the first dementia-friendly nation in the world. There are currently 850,000 people in the UK with dementia. 44,000 of them are under 65. A dementia-friendly society has to involve people with dementia as equal partners. Younger and younger, my brain starts to grow. My emotions jumping to and fro. My limbs, they tremble when I walk. My voice, it wavers when I talk. All the inner pain no one can see stops myself being me. Please understand what you can't see.
I could, but I looked on the internet for more information. I found lots of scientific articles and lots on dealing with grandparents. However, there were very few stories on young people whose parents were diagnosed. When I told my friends about my dad, all I got back was, "Oh, were you alright?" And that was it. But what could I expect? I was as clueless as them on the disease. My health and social care teacher told me that I shouldn't do this, as people can't get it that young. Dad is an amazing man and he has had to give up so much because of his condition. My mum is my rock, but my dad is my hero.
How proud am I? Ours is not a sad story. It's far too early for that. The people on Twitter, the people on Facebook, they meet up. They're real people with real issues and real problems, exactly the same as us. I disempowered him, I disabled him, and I did it out of love. And I am so fortunate to be married to a man that not only sees the solution, he gets on with providing the solution before it has become a problem. And we will make a difference, and we will make that difference here in Wales first.
Quite a lot of the events that we attend don't openly invite people with dementia, families and carers to come along, and if they do, they've got quite a passive voice in that, so it's really nice to come to an event where people are actively encouraged to share their experience.
I think this is the first of what will be, I hope, an annual meet-up in North Wales. It's all of us working together to make a difference on dementia. We seem to tolerate a situation where people have dementia and don't get a diagnosis, and actually getting a diagnosis helps you come in control, helps you understand what's wrong with you and helps you do something about it. The health service is still very focused on drugs and surgery, but actually what people with dementia need is care and support in the community. And as we all know in this room, but most people don't know, that care and support isn't provided free by the NHS. All too often people aren't getting it at all, or they're having to pay for it themselves. We won't sort out dementia. We won't support people like Chris and the other people in this room with dementia properly if we just rely on it to be something done by the health service. 50,000 people are becoming dementia friends across the UK every month. It's not something to be afraid of, because out of fear and guilt comes isolation and despair. There's often a sign showing you the way into the toilet, but there quite often is not a sign showing you the way out. And I hear story after story of people with dementia who end up in the broom cupboard. We've trained all the first group bus drivers in dementia awareness so that people can get on and off buses and be helped in journeys when they get confused and lost. Where we want to get to is that we're not retrofitting it. It should be a matter of everyday practice. To give credit where credit's due, David Cameron has said this is an issue that needs to be tackled. Thank you all for being here, and let's make that difference starting today.
Well now, Walter and me, we've been courting for years, but he's never asked me to wed. When sheep years comes round, I give 3 hearty cheers. Hip hip hooray, hip hip hooray, hip hip hooray, because I do the asking instead. I don't want to die an old maid, so I'm singing the serenade.
Too often, bodies like local authorities and the health board do one-off consultations, don't they? They think, oh, we've got to do something, we've got to change this service. We better tell people what we're doing. And they want to know that their stories are important and that they're going to be heard.
It's been really good to come into a place where there's just open conversation without any fear of, am I saying the right thing? Everyone's just been very comfortable to talk, and everyone's come for a different reason, but everyone's input is equally, taken. So it's been really inspiring.
Of course, they have dementia programs at the Vatican. They go in the Sistine Chapel. What does it do for the person with dementia? We're interested in the ripples. What difference does it make to the family? What difference does it make to staff? What difference does it make to the general public, to our community? This is about people. Also, I'm really pleased to see fun becomes much larger in the afternoon.
And what we do is we have lots of props and costumes, as you can see with us, and I'm commissioned to work alongside the big thing behind me, which is called a REM pod. REM pods came about from Dragon's Den, and they were funded by Deborah Meaden, and I've been funded by Flintshire Social Services and Flintshire County Council to inspire care staff to use them and also to get the benefit out of them for the people with dementia.
I've been living with a diagnosis of dementia of the Alzheimer's type now for 9 years. I can hardly remember what it was like not having dementia, but they never ask us about our senses, about our balance, and how difficult it was to get dressed. When nobody asked me about my sensory challenges, I started talking about it. So I ask any professionals here, when we're having our review, can you please give the same amount of time and attention to our sensory and emotional, don't mention that kind of word, issues. And when you're asking the questions, don't use words like OT, an ophthalmologist. Ask your questions in words, layperson's words that I understand. We tell our lived experience and then relate what we do. We now feel that the professionals will listen. It's in print.
We've never had a conference like this before, and it's been organised with the direct involvement of people with dementia themselves to talk about what they need for the future and how to make the best of the services that are already available. Well, I think this is a really important initiative. It's all too often that the NHS and other bodies design things from top down. This is about letting people speak with their own voices, come together as a group, participate in a conference and make the changes that they want to see on the ground in their communities.
The doctor now tells me that the symptoms and brain scans show that I have mixed dementia, Alzheimer's and vascular, and I go on working for another 5 years till I lose my driving licence. I meet others with young onset dementia every couple of months, and my wife makes contact with a local dementia carers peer group. Imagine. Actually, what happened was, after I got my diagnosis, I saw a GP. 3 weeks later, he did another mini-cog test, probably to get money in the form of quaff points. He said there was nothing more he could tell me, because I did ask him. So I went home and wondered what to do next. I do meet the memory service outreach nurse every 6 months for an hour, and she gives me a care plan. She gave me a care plan, which she had prepared, and which doesn't have any contact details for her or any other health professionals. She apologises that she can't do more, but actually she's been told only to visit once a year.
Things that I've been experiencing, like sensory things, hallucinations, smells, things that are not there, have been explained, which I've brought up with doctors, but nothing's been said about it. So I found it really helpful that this is a part of Alzheimer's, or can be a part, and I'm not silently going mad.
There's been a great atmosphere in the room today. There's been a lot of conversation had, and most people I spoke to, the majority have thoroughly enjoyed it. We should be included inclusively at every stage and every step.
Thank you for everything you've contributed. We don't know what will come from today, but I'm pretty confident lots of things will come from today.